Howdy, this is John with Gloryview Ranch, and we continue to think about abundant living and what it takes, and it makes me think a little bit about the fall. I love the fall. I love the crisp air, I love the fresh smells, I love the changing colors, but I tell you what I love the most about the fall is the abundance of the harvest. Growing up in Minnesota, man, that's when life was at its best. And you had this harvest. You had the sweet corn coming out of the fields. You had everybody's gardens just exploding with fresh produce, and of course apple trees. And so we'd have apple pie, apple fritters, apple crisp, apple cobbler, Kathleen, my wife, she made the most amazing applesauce, gallons of it that our kids just devoured. We loved it. We love all of that. And so Kathleen and I, we had a garden, so we'd like to participate in that whole process, and we'd choose our place for our garden well and make sure that it was going to drain well but hold the moisture and all of that. And so then we'd prep it all up and get it ready. We'd plant our seed and make sure they're in the right depth depending on the plant. And then we would care for that garden all year long and ensuring that it was getting what it was need and taking away what might hurt it. And all of it, though, was for the harvest. It was the abundance of the experience of the garden was experienced in its production, in the harvest at the end. And you know that there's a lot of miraculous things that happen with that plant, right? As it's growing, I mean, that seed goes in the ground, it dies so that it can germinate, and then you got that whole photosynthesis going on. But really, when it comes right down to it, it's all about the soil. If the soil isn't good, no matter how great the seed is, no matter how wonderful the plant is and all that process, if the soil is bad, the whole thing is going to be bad. Man, that is amazing how it illustrates us as well, because we're the same way. It is about our heart. We invest all kinds of time and money and skills to try to get better at stuff, and that's great. But it's all for naught if our heart is in the wrong place. And so if we want to live abundant life, the life that Christ came for us to have, we've got to be engaged in that activity of being productive, of growing and producing a harvest of righteousness. And that takes effort, but it's a condition of our heart. And when Peter was writing to the church in 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 9, I encourage you to go and read those verses because that's exactly what it addresses. It is a condition of the heart. No matter how much effort we put into developing all these other skills, it comes down to, is our heart in line with the heart of God? Are we surrendered and under the authority of the gospel of Jesus Christ? And when we are, a beautiful harvest of righteousness flows out of our heart and blesses the people around us.